JJ Redick and Bob Cousy going back and forth discussing the modern era versus the old era NBA. JJ Redick, Noah, I feel like has started to become one of the more outspoken figures in NBA media. He was pretty much an independent podcast. He was with The Ringer for a little while. Now he's on ESPN every week on First Take with Stephen A. And in this case, last week with Mad Dog, Chris Russo. And they got into it talking about the same thing, the modern era versus the old era. Let's hear the debate between Mad Dog and JJ.
Has Paul ever been first team All-NBA?
Did Bob Cousy ever shoot over 40% from the field in his
we
career?
understand that.
Did
You're
he
right.
ever shoot over 40%?
Probably 39, 40%. Different kind of game.
Not once.
It's
Not
fair.
once.
That's fair. You also had 29 assists in an NBA game.
Oh, well, you know, he was being guarded by plumbers and firemen.
So the classic argument there from JJ, the plumbers and firemen. Lots of people, I feel like that's more... In the most shocking event possible, Bob Cousy himself responds to these comments. He went on Sirius XM to talk about JJ. Let's hear from Bob Cousy himself.
People with less talent will always try to make a name for themselves by criticizing other people and hopefully getting some attention and perhaps increasing their credibility. So when you respond to something like this, you play into their hands. I won't do that, but I will defend the firemen and the plumbers that he referenced. And I'll just give you a few of their names of these firemen that I played with and against during those years. How about Bill Russell, the aforementioned, not too bad a player. Wilt Chamberlain, remember that guy? He wasn't bad. I recall. I guess he must have fought fires as well, but in any event.
So Bob Cousy coming right out of the 1920s radio to talk about this. Number one, though, Bob Cousy, he's still alive. I mean, completely shocking.
I did not know that. Yeah, I
93 years old.
Wow.
Still NBA royalty there, Bob Cousy. But, I mean, what do you think about this? Do you think that the old era NBA players were plumbers and firemen? That's my first question. I'll get into more things later, but how do you feel about the old era NBA?
Actually, before I respond to that question, well, where do you think Bob Cousy even found out about this? Because he didn't have social media. He probably sits in his house all day. Like, who told him about this?
I don't know.
Bill Russell or something? Did someone like text him or something?
He probably got reached out to.
Does Bob Cousy even have a phone? An iPhone? I don't even know.
I mean, he sounds with it on the radio show, so
I guess he came.
I don't know. Maybe he's more modern than we got to give him credit for. Although his mic does sound like a 1940s mic. It does sound like he's at a baseball game about to call the World Series.
Well, he probably called in. I assume he didn't go to a studio since he's 93, but he's probably in a wheelchair or something by now. But the old era NBA, I actually kind of agree with JJ Redick. Okay, I mean, not all of them are plumbers, but Bob Cousy, you're a straight plumber. I'm sorry, dude. You are not good.
Oh, no.
Bill Russell, yeah, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain, no, they're really good players. They're like top 10 players of all time. Bob Cousy, though, I mean, just look at him when you play my team in 2K. Nobody wants to use Bob Cousy, okay? Because he's just a 6'1" white point guard that if he can't do anything in a video game, how's he going to do anything in real life, his player? So if Bob Cousy played today, I think he'd be playing D3 basketball.
The one thing, okay, so we cut off the Mad Dog clip early, but the one thing I'll go on to take from his argument is that, I mean, we all acknowledge that like Wilt and these other players, Oscar Robertson, you even just said it, that they'd be able to play in today's NBA.
I did.
But Bob Cousy was all NBA first team in that era.
Yeah.
He was all NBA first team.
Hold on.
With Oscar Robertson playing and with Jerry West playing.
Hold on. He also played. There's also many plumbers, and there's like 10 teams in the league at that time. If Damian Lillard or Steph Curry played against Bob Cousy, you think he'd make first team All NBA? Would he get 29 assists in a game?
No.
Exactly.
Well, that's interesting because, I mean, it's more about getting 29 assists is more about the other players scoring.
Yeah,
So, like,
I mean,
you could say they
yeah.
were guarded by plumbers.
Yeah, well, I mean, besides Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, I mean, who were the other good centers? And I guess Willis Reed and I guess Bob Pettit. He wasn't really a center though, so. But it's funny how he's calling out JJ. I mean, JJ is a good player. I guess I guess have to say he's more talented than Bob Cousy if I'm on JJ's side. JJ is like a 40% 3-point shooter, and
I mean,
wasn't even a 3-point.
Cousy doesn't think so. He really took a shot at Redick. He said people with less talent will always try and call out others to discredit or whatever he said to discredit them. So Cousy thinks he's better all time than Redick.
There was no 3-point. Yeah, okay, he is better all time. Just because I mean, JJ plays today, and he's just a role player, 3-point shooter. I mean, but he's definitely a better shooter than Cousy. There was no 3-point line then. Like, how many points would Redick average in the 1960s? I don't know, but there's also plumbers in every era, okay? Like, Frank Ntilikina, would he be a first-team All-NBA player if he played then? Maybe, maybe not.
Right.
Like, he kind of sucks. Who's another really bad player? Would Kuruks, the Nets guy, would he be able to guard Will Chamberlain?
Oh wait, I don't have the drop for him. I would have played it. The Rodion
I don't
drop.
know. Like Bruce Brown, would Bruce Brown average 40? I don't think so. I mean, there's plumbers in every era, and I mean, there was only like 8 to 10
love
teams.
this kid.
There's only 8 to 10 teams then, so I do think there was definitely a bunch of plumbers. But every sport, I mean, athletes and human nature they've just evolved over the past 50 to 60 years. Like, all the training equipment, people are taller, people are stronger than ever, people are conditioned better than ever. So I mean, I kind of have to agree with JJ on this, even though I obviously respect Will Chamberlain, like Bill Russell, for what they did for the game. They're good players. I mean, I think they could play in any era because they're like athletic freaks. Bob Cousy, I mean, JJ did the right thing. If he took a shot at Bill Russell, I would have been on Bill Russell's side. But he took a shot at a guy who's 6'2", and he's good, but he's not like an insane athlete or has an insane skill set or anything. I mean, he dribbled with his right hand only, and like all those clips are in black and white if you've seen those.
All right, that's the next layer to my question about this is, do you think it's right for JJ Redick, a player himself, a media personality on ESPN, to refer to the old era as plumbers and firemen? Because it's one thing for us on Twitter to do it and like random people, but do you think JJ took it too far being in his position?
I don't think so. I mean, it's kind of funny, but you got to show respect to the elders and the guys that grew the game. So like Will and Bill, at least he's showing respect to them, I suppose. But he really took a shot at Cousy. But I don't know if JJ Redick was the right player to say this. It'd be funny if like LeBron or like Curry or Dame said this or something. But JJ Redick, I mean, he's a fine player, but he's no Hall of Famer. He's no top 50 player. Like, all right, I don't know. Like, if like Kobe Bryant, before he died, came out and said this, everybody probably would have agreed with him, like, because it's Kobe. But since JJ Redick, I think Cousy felt like he needed to respond because he's like, oh, who's this guy? He was never first team All NBA. He averaged 15. Like, he's just a spot up shooter. Like, who is he to tell me, like, I'm bad when I'm first team All NBA? It's kind of a funny beef.
Yeah, I think we got to have a distinction between people that are more talented and acknowledging the greatness of what the old era is, because I don't know, for some reason I am always on the side of the 1960s players. I don't know why they get so much hate. I feel like I have to defend them for some reason.
You're defending Cousy in this
right?
situation?
Exactly. Though I'm gonna defend Cousy here.
Wow.
I feel like are you okay? You just want me to play that again?
Play what again? Wow. Yeah, you are. Why are you defending Cousy? Give me some reasoning behind this.
I just think, okay, so if you take players from today's game, like Giannis or Westbrook or anybody with insane athleticism, they could probably go back to the 50s and 60s and score 100 points.
Yeah,
I don't think you can deny that. Yeah. I think Curry would just destroy all those players. Anybody from today's game that's a great player would still be a great player back then. Yeah. But I think we have to acknowledge, in talking purely about greatness, not necessarily skill, it's important to acknowledge like the foundation that all these players laid out in the old era. Like this is going to be hilarious, but they invented the jump shot. Like the players today would not be able to imitate that part of the game or develop that part of the game if these players back then didn't figure out that it was the best way to play. Like they didn't know, like they invented the pick and roll. Like these schemes that were invented, that's still part of their greatness, that the fact that they're still used today and still, part of the skill set of modern day NBA players. They laid the foundation for that. So I feel like that's definitely something that goes overlooked in these arguments. You just look at, Cousy was 6 feet and had no athleticism and looked like he was 55 when he was 30. Like, yeah, we get it. Giannis would destroy him in a game, but he wouldn't even be playing if it wasn't them inventing the pick and roll or them inventing these different types of sets that they run.
Bob Cousy, it's not Wilt Chamberlain, it's Bob Cousy.
Bob Cousy was first team All NBA above Oscar Robertson.
I don't care.
Above Jerry West.
I don't care. Like players like I like to watch.
Do you think Jerry West could play? Do you think Jerry West could play today?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. What do you think?
If you think Cousy can't, then West can't either.
Nah, West is the logo though. He has special powers.
That doesn't help him.
West is a better shooter. I don't know. I don't know. Jerry West probably didn't have much athleticism either. I guess they wouldn't be able to play. I guess only Wilt and Bill Russell. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, they did lay the foundation. Okay, I do agree with that. No, it's not like I'm taking Cousy off the top 50 list. I'm just like, I guess I'll put like an asterisk next to his name or something in the top 50 players.
Why? You're giving so much respect to Bill and Wilt, but I think in the original episode 1 of this show, we looked at ESPN's top 10 player list.
Yeah.
And they had Wilt and Bill both in there, and you said they shouldn't be, and I did.
Well,
are you taking that back now?
I'm taking that back. My mental health was worse during the pandemic, so that's my excuse. I'd like to announce that it's much better now, and Wilt and Bill, they can have a spot in my top 10 now.
Okay. So you're giving them credit now.
I'm giving them credit now, yeah.
Okay.